You are listening to How to Get Over Your Ex, episode number 332. Did I manifest my breakup? A manifestation expert explains. Welcome to How to Get Over Your Ex, a podcast on getting over your ex without it just taking time. I'm your host, breakup coach Dorothy. Let's turn your pain into power and your heartbreak into happy. Hello, hello, beautiful brave hearts. How are you doing today? I am so pumped to be here with you. I have the most epic guest. You guys are going to die. We're going to roll over. It's going to be amazing. I have to introduce you to someone who is just like near and dear to my heart. Like legitimately, she saved my life. I was like going through such a difficult time in my life, and I feel like she was the one, like the person who just picked me up and was like, Boo, everything you still want is available. We're going to get through this. And I just felt so cared for, so supported, so taken care of during a time of my life where I felt like I had no one. And you guys need to know about her. You guys need to know about her. All right. So, Jamie, we've got Jamie on the line here today, my friends. So, Jamie Berman, she is a beautiful life coach who has helped with manifestation, money, business. We're going to talk about it all today. I'm going to have her talk about manifestation with romantic partnerships, but also we're going to talk about money because Jamie really taught me a lot about money. She was the first coach who really, I don't think you actually know this, Jamie, but she really amplified, or what's the word, like inspired me to know what was available with money. Some of our beginning conversations, because we actually went to life coach certification together. And I just remember you and your first money goal was so like, whoa, mic drop. I kind of fell over when you said what you wanted to make. And I just remember you talking, and I was like, who is this person? I need to know her. I want to be friends with her. And it was just really, it was awesome. And there's been so many micro moments on our journey that I feel like Jamie has like very much shown me a different perspective or a different lens that I can like move through the world with and like learn from. So I just want to say thank you. I love you so much. You're a dear friend, a dear colleague, and a dear coach.
My
And
God.
I'm just so excited for you to be here today.
Thank you. I mean, within the first second, you're opening my heart and making me just want to tear up. So thank you, Dorothy. I love you so much. I just love you. And so thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Ah, I love it. So good. Let's dive in. Let's dive in. We've got some juicy stuff to talk about.
Oh yeah,
So,
we do.
why don't you first, can you actually first just tell people who you are, where you are in the world, because you're like a Hawaiian mermaid. We need to know all the things. Tell us who you are, where you are, and what you do.
Yeah. So I am a master certified life coach. Like Dorothy said, we went through certification together. So we've been doing this about the same amount of time and on the journey together. It's been amazing. I do also have a background in spiritual psychology. And I love it. My specialty is manifestation. And within that, I love working with female entrepreneurs on their relationship with money. I think there's so much magic in that. So, yes, as you shared, I do a lot of work with people around money and stepping into their power around that and stepping into their worth. What I love about this work is that I get to practice it and then share it. So I really do live all that I teach. And I basically go through the journey of like manifesting and just kind of, evolving and then teaching everything that I have to share about the process. So, one of my most recent manifestations was moving to Maui full time. And Dorothy's probably like, finally, I'm so sick of hearing you talk about it because I've been manifesting this one for a very long time and it has happened. So,
Oh, it's
I'm a
so
Hawaiian mermaid
juicy.
now.
Yes, so juicy. So, and you guys have to follow her on Instagram because you just get to witness all the beautiful, like, she lives on like a farm. She's eating fresh fruit
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
You're in the water, whales, all
It's
of it.
wild. It's wild. I know. I know.
I
I
wish
am
we could take like
grateful.
a photo or like a screenshot or even just like even your introduction, Jamie. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. Like I wish we could like record that and send that to like 10 years ago you because
Yeah.
You weren't even doing this. And now just like when you were
Oh,
talking about it, I was like, oh my God, this is like the most aligned version of you I've ever, met.
wow. Thank you. It's been an evolution for sure. It's been a journey, but and I'm even still taking it in like, wait, what? This is my, like, it's still, I'm still processing it, but it does feel very alive, very aligned. I feel beyond grateful. It makes me believe in manifestation. Like, there's absolutely no doubt that this works and this is true because the way this all unfolded is just wild.
So good.
Yeah.
Ah, so delicious. Okay. So I want to know, you and I have actually never really talked about this, but I want to
Mhm.
know, like, if have you ever been through a breakup or a heartbreak? I want to hear about like your experience with heartbreak. I don't, because you've told me before that you've never been through a breakup because she's been with her
Yep.
amazing husband. He's so cool. So cool.
Yeah.
But tell me about like, have you gone through hardship or heartbreak in some way, shape, or
Course.
form?
Absolutely. I've been through, I would say, heartbreak quite a bit. Just
Mhm.
like in life, there's many different ways you can go through heartbreak with family members, with things with family members, with addiction, through loss, through my business, even. That's probably a huge one that you witnessed with big transitions in my business and feeling like the heartbreak and the breakup of that. So, yeah, I've never had partnership breakup or like a relationship because I just don't have a lot of experience other than my husband and then the two other boyfriends I had early on in life. I broke up with them, so it was more of a release. But
Yes.
absolutely, I've gone through heartbreak and grief,
What do you
in
think?
many ways. Yeah,
Yeah. So, in your forms of heartbreak that you've experienced, what do
yeah.
you feel like is like the most difficult part of it?
Yeah, great question. Honestly, I think it's just the questioning of self. For me, that's what it's been of like, almost turning, it's like not letting it be a completion, not letting it just be something that was always meant to be, but instead for me, I would say it's the questioning myself. Am I making, did I do something wrong? Am I making the right decision? And then I would also say what's really painful about most of the heartbreaks I've gone through is like questioning the future then of like, oh, can it get any better than that? Am I making a mistake by doing this or by releasing something? So I think it's just, yeah, that like self-doubt that comes in the questioning everything, right? And
Hmm.
almost not being able to see beyond it. Like
Yeah.
that's, I think, the hardest part, especially when you're in the pain of it. It's really hard to see like a positive vision moving forward or a positive future. So, for me, it's been like I've had to really move through the pain in order to get to the other side where I've been able to get clarity on what's next.
Yeah.
And it's hard not having a vision for what's next. It feels like, where's the path? What do I
Yeah.
do? You just feel in it, in that liminal space that's pretty much just painful.
Yeah. That brings me to a question of like, do you feel, I don't know the answer to this question. I'm
Mm-hmm.
genuinely just curious about your perspective of it. I'm curious, do you feel like heartbreak is a part of a manifestation process?
Oh, I definitely think it can be. It
Yeah.
definitely can
But
be.
it's not
Yeah.
required, right?
Required.
Mhm.
No, I mean, I think anything that we go through that is deeply challenging or painful can absolutely be a part of the process because, as we know, when we go through obstacles or challenges, that is what almost it doesn't force us, but if we want to move through it with grace, it invites us to up level,
Mhm.
right? So
Yeah.
challenges are like something that we it gets thrown at us and it's like a massive invitation to build up characteristics we didn't have before, strengths we didn't have before, beliefs that we didn't have before, even belief in the unknown, right? It builds up so much within us that I think is very important in order to move on to what we really want in our lives. So, oftentimes, a big blow up in our lives, whether that's a breakup or going through something really, really challenging, while it is not fun, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and say I would ask for those things every time. It's built up something that I'm like, oh my God, on the other end of it, like, ooh, once I'm on the other side, it's like, as much as like that was super hard. I'm glad it happened. And, or I'm grateful for the gifts that came from that, that I'm able to use and alchemize into what's next.
Yeah.
So, therefore, it absolutely can be a part of the manifestation process because sometimes we're manifesting these huge things, right? That like we have to become a new version of ourselves. So the obstacles invite us into that.
Yeah.
So that's kind
So
of how I
good.
see it and how I've experienced it, not only for myself, but clients. I see this happen all the time where they like are so ready to step into something really big. And all of a sudden, all this stuff starts coming up for them, whether it's a breakup or something like, you know, traumatic or something surfaces, some kind of emotion surfaces. And it's like they're invited to work through it because they can't carry that and become that next version of themselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
So good. So good. Oh, I love that. Then I want to talk about, because a lot of times my people come to me and their partner has left. They're
Yeah.
blindsided. They
Yeah.
weren't expecting this. Um, and at one point, when they were like dating, well, and not always, they're not always intentionally with this partner, but a lot of times too, they were like, I was intentionally dating. I thought I picked the right person. And so they almost see like the heartbreak and the breakup or this divorce as like they manifested the incorrect person or they manifested incorrectly, or they're like, I created this pattern where I keep choosing these people that aren't right for me. And they take a lot of self-ownership, which we're like, ownership is great, but I almost feel like it's in a negative way that they're taking the ownership because they're saying that they manifested incorrectly. But I guess, what is your perspective of that?
Yeah, great question. And I just don't think it's even possible to manifest incorrectly, right? I just don't, I wouldn't even take on that thought. It's like whenever I hear people say, like, I got in a car accident, did I manifest it with my thinking? I'm like, no, like, I would never choose to think that. Things happen in life. And you always want to look at things. And this is how, at least, I invite people to look at it is look at things from a way that is loving to you, compassionate to you. So if you're thinking, I manifested that car accident, how do you feel? You feel terrible. It's shaming yourself. It's like, no, what if like things can happen in life? And then the manifestation is what now? What now? Who can I become now? Right. So I would never think you manifested it in like a negative way, but it's almost like, okay, that happened. What now? What can I take from that? What can I learn from that? What if I was always supposed to have that? Right. What if that was always supposed to happen? It was always part of my whole curriculum and it was always part of my learning. And maybe with that relationship, I learned some things, right? Maybe I learned, oh, this is some of the things that I want in a partner, but I also want someone who's emotionally available and wants it back from me, right? So you can
Yeah.
take those things and use them as learning. But I just, I always ask people, how does it feel when you think that, right? Because we both follow the model and it's like our thoughts create our feelings. And you should never look, I wouldn't encourage you to look at manifestation in a way that shames you, blames you, or makes you feel terrible because it's not going to allow you to move forward. And it's not even true. If it feels terrible the way that you're thinking about it, it's not even true. It's not aligned. So
Oh,
I would
so
just never
good.
choose to look at it as I manifested that, like, or I
Yeah.
created that, or I had, in a blamey way. It's
I
like, how can
love
we look at,
that.
yeah, yeah,
And so it's an optional, because I think lots of times, right, we come, or they're when they're coming to me, they're like, there's a right or a wrong way here.
yeah,
And it's like that part's optional. I don't even have to believe that part.
yeah, yeah. I
So
also just
good.
like to look at life sometimes based on like what feels good. It's like, what if like just things happen? What if like not everything in life you consciously created, you consciously manifested with your thoughts? It's like, what if things actually happen? Like someone else broke up with me, someone else hit me, I got in a right, like things happen in life. What if we could just hold that? But like
Yeah.
it didn't have to do with you.
And I love that. I think a lot of times I'm talking to my client, like, especially when they come from infidelity or cheating, they're like,
Yeah.
how did I create that? And then they
Yeah.
go on and they start like selecting people or trying to select people who aren't going to cheat on them next, instead of
Yeah.
realizing like that's not their responsibility.
Yeah.
They can't take on someone else's poor behavior and then make it mean like I did that to myself.
100%. So I think the shift is they did that. They manifested that. That was theirs. Had
Mm,
nothing to do with you. That was they manifested it, right? Like that would be the turnaround.
so good. I get chills. Um, let's talk about money and heartbreak and
Mm-hmm.
breakups, okay? Because number one, I love talking about money, so that's fun. And then number two, I feel like it comes up in breakups a lot in a lot of different ways. But I think
Totally.
my main question to you is, can we manifest money even when we're in heartbreak?
Oh my gosh, yes, 100%. And I've seen it. So, in fact, what's really interesting, actually, I know we've shared a lot of clients, right? Where like they're working with you on the breakup and then they work with me on the money because it can absolutely kick up money stuff. When you go through breakups, divorces, heartbreak, it can kick up those survival things, which a lot of times has to do with money. So, can you manifest it? Absolutely. You can manifest money in heartbreak. I
Okay,
would say that's, yeah,
can you tell us the secret first step? What's the first step that someone can take if someone's going through heartbreak?
yeah,
And so they obviously, we do share a lot of clients. I love that
yeah,
for us.
yeah,
Um, when someone's going through heartbreak, they're dealing with the heartbreak, that part, like let's say that part's being taken care of
yeah,
by me and all the things that I'm teaching them and working with them on. But what would you tell them about manifesting money during that time? Like what would be the first step that they could take?
yeah, 100%. So I would say it's kind of like it's working with two different pieces within yourself. So I think it's separating heartbreak from the money. And it's like work on your nervous system, work on the heartbreak and all of that. And kind of step over here to this part of yourself. And what you want to do is start focusing on your resourcefulness because I think a lot of people want to start getting into abundance or belief, and it's really hard when you're down and when you're dealing with heartbreak. And sometimes it truly is just circumstantially challenging because maybe your partner made more money. Maybe you guys had money intertwined. Maybe they paid all the bill or they did things that you don't even know how to do. So there's a lot to learn, or there's, you know, maybe it's even like you starting to make money on your own. So the first step I would say is you don't even have to necessarily believe that I can make a lot of money or I can make it up, or your belief doesn't have to be really high. But I would say first step is just start looking for resourcefulness. And resourcefulness is, where do I have money? Where am I okay? And looking for resourcefulness beyond money. So where do I have support? Where do I have help? Where do things work in my favor? Where are things coming to me that, you know, it's like, wow, like I didn't expect that. So I had a client that went through a divorce recent. It was last year, actually. And she's been working with me for a year. She came to me because he was the breadwinner and she wasn't, you know, she was a stay-at-home mom at that time. So this is really what we started to work with. I was like, let's not stretch too much and start like manifesting great abundance, even though that's where you're going to get. First of
Mhm.
all, like just keep your eye on the prize, that is where we're going, but start small, looking for where you're resourced, looking for where you have support, looking for where you can even open up to more support and more receiving. That's the first step because that's going to calm your system and see that you are supported. And that then you can build from there and move into a place of like more than enough and abundance and all of that. But I think one of the mistakes people make when trying to manifest money is that they go from one extreme to the next. They go from no belief in their ability to make money to like, I need to believe that I can make $1 million in my business. And I actually think doing it in a stepping stone way is the most sustainable way where you're actually like, your mind and body and nervous system can get on board with it. And so
Yeah.
much can be manifested just from a place of resourcefulness, of seeing where you do have enough, how you are okay, where are you safe. That would be step one.
And I think that's important for everyone listening in because of the correlation between being like taken care of. I think when you're going through heartbreak and a breakup, like you are yearning to be cared for. You're missing the idea that your ex was caring for you and taking care of you. And like this is showing you all the ways that you are cared for and supported and taken care of. Yeah, I think that is a beautiful thing because that's not only going to address the money stuff too, that's
Yep.
also addressing your nervous system even when it comes to connection, human connection, love, all of that as well.
Yeah. And I also think it's the shift from like you thought it was the partner that was supporting you, but what if that's not even true? Like, yes, in many ways, but really it's like what supports you is the universe. That's not
Mhm.
whatever it is of
Yeah.
universe, God, life force, energy, whatever it is you believe in. Like, that's what the true support, that's where the true power is. So I think it's like the invitation is to start developing a relationship with that and seeing like, oh, I've actually always been supported. It wasn't just through this channel. It wasn't just this person. Like that's how life force came through, but it's still there. Life force is still there. Can I start trusting in that? And what you'll see, it's hard to do in the beginning. I'm not even going to lie, but what you'll see is you'll start seeing miracles happen as you believe in that and as you trust in that. And that you see, oh, like, wait a minute, I still have, there's this power I didn't even know that I had access to. I was giving it to my ex.
So good. We talk about that with safety a lot inside of my program, where they're like, I felt safe with my ex. Like when we
Yeah.
find ourselves missing our ex, I'm like, what is it that you're actually missing? An experience, a quality they had, or a feeling? And a lot of times it always comes back to that feeling of safety. And what's so interesting is like, again, our thoughts create our feelings, meaning they were a neutral circumstance in our model.
Yeah.
And we had thoughts that allowed us about that circumstance that allowed us to feel safe within that. And not
Yeah.
every person feels safe with your ex. You
Yeah.
actually created that safety in the first place. So good.
Yes, yes. And so, yeah, it could be the same exact thing for supported, for resourced, for abundant, for financially okay.
So good.
Yeah.
Let's talk about attachment and manifestation if you have a second, because so Jamie really worked with me, you guys, on my attachment in my miscarriage. We talk about that on a completely different episode about the attachment cycle. But I want to talk to you about attachment within manifestation. So I'm always telling my people, like, if we can learn how to reduce attachment with their
Mhm.
ex, it's going to be a tool that they use forever because we have to release attachment around anything we're manifesting. At least
Yeah.
that's what I say. But I
Yeah.
guess what is your point of view in terms of releasing attachment and
Yeah.
manifestation?
Such a
Tell
good
me, like,
question.
yeah,
Okay. Yep. So, with manifestation, just to go to manifestation 101, the way that I see it is it's kind the way, like, I'll put it in woo woo language and then I'll break it down a little bit. So, woo woo language is you must become vibrationally whatever it is you want to call into your life. So you have to step into the vibration of what it is you want to call in. So, for example, if you want to call in love, you must step into that fully vibrationally, which is worthiness, love, compassion, right? All of these things. If you want to create money, you must step into abundance or resourcefulness. Vibrationally first, meaning like feeling first. What is the feeling that you think you're going to get by having that thing? If you want to manifest it, the opportunity is to cultivate that feeling now, because just like what Dorothy says, it is not that thing that's creating your feelings. It's the way you think, it's the thoughts that you have, it's your perspective of life, and it's what you're intending, right? The feelings that you intend to practice and you start to, like I always think it's practicing it in your nervous system. And then with that, that is when the miracles happen. That's when the manifestations come to life. When we're in attachment, what we're saying is, I have to have that physical thing in order to feel this way. And I can't feel it until I have that. So, for example, with a husband, well, I can't feel love. I can't feel supported. I can't feel intimacy until I have this thing. So we place a lot of importance and attachment on it because we tell ourselves that's what's going to give us those feelings. Same with a child, right? It's like, I want that maternal instinct. I want that connection with a child. Or with money, oh my God, I want to feel safe. I want to feel secure. I want to feel abundant. I have to have this amount of money to feel it. I have to have this amount in my savings. But the truth is, as most of us know in life, you can get those things, but you're not going to feel that way because you haven't trained your nervous system and your mind on cultivating those feelings for yourself. So the reason that releasing attachment is important is because it actually invites you to live that now, to become a vibrational match to that now, right? To live into those feelings. And we saw this with you with manifesting your baby that, you stepped into those maternal instincts. You stepped into that before you actually became a mother.
Yes, it was so good. You guys, like Jamie was the coach that when I went through the big miscarriage of baby Marilyn, I was like, again, distraught, devastated, all the things, right? And Jamie was like the coach. It was like, I still believe in Millionaire Mama. And you got me that notebook. I still have it. I get rid of all of my notebooks. I've never gotten rid of that one. It has Millionaire
Aww.
Mama on it, and it has all these like manifestations about, me being a mom. And 100%, I had to release full attachment to having children. And the moment I did, a month later, I got pregnant. And attachment's so important. I think the secondary part that I want to add to that too, Jamie, is that when you learn the skill set of releasing attachment, what I think is like even like the manifestation coming to reality is great.
Yeah.
I think that's great. But I think what's even cooler or like the cherry on top is the fact that once I get that manifestation, when I've released attachment, I'm not terrified of it leaving again. So like
Yes.
with my husband, like I understand like he could leave at any moment or he could fall in love with somebody else and like that doesn't mean I won't feel sad or upset or devastated, but I also
Yes.
recognize that my life's not over. I'm going to have a bigger and better life regardless of what he chooses to do. And so therefore I'm not afraid of losing that person. And again, like it's helped me with so many manifestations of not feeling scared of it leaving once I've created it. And to me, that 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 experience of non-attachment
Yeah.
is so worth it.
So true. And what is also, I think, really freeing about it too is like, it's almost like when you release attachment, it's like you already feel free before you have it. So again, it's just a cherry on top when it happens. It's not like this huge, like, oh my God, dopamine hit, huge surge of like, it's kind of like, of course, that makes sense. Like, this is just the next natural step, right?
I get
Because you've
giddy
already
thinking
become
about it.
that
Yeah.
person. So you step into it and it's exciting and all, but it's not what you thought it would be, where it's like, that's the answer to all of my, everything.
And it doesn't even feel like this big monumental thing
No,
sometimes.
I
Like it
know.
reminds me of like becoming a coach full time and
Yep.
hitting my first 200K and like,
Yep.
yeah, so fascinating. So good. Is there anything else that you have that you feel like would be helpful perspectives around manifestation, money, breakups, heartbreak, manifesting a partner, any of that?
Yes, totally. Well, what do you think your audience would love to hear about manifesting? I'll
So
ask you
what's
that.
coming up, what's like
Yep.
ding ding dinging in my brain is like hearing about manifesting their husband. Like I think a
Yeah.
lot of times people come to me because they're like obviously going through heartbreak, but they really truly want to create that lasting partner and sometimes create a family.
Yeah,
So what
totally.
would you have to say
So
about like manifesting those things?
yes, I love it. Such a good question. So I think first of all, the first thing that I wholeheartedly believe about manifestation is if it's a soul calling, it's going to happen, right? It's going to happen for you. It's meant to happen. It's almost like when you have that deep soul calling, it's because you have a vision of your future and what it's going to be. So I think the first step is just knowing if you have that soul calling, like it is done. It may look different than your brain sees right now, but it is done. That wish is going to be fulfilled. So if you can step into that knowing, it's really helpful. And I call that the it is done practice of just knowing if my soul has that much of a heart desire for this, it is done. It is me kind of seeing into my future self. So if it is done, then what? Right? If I know for sure it is done, how can I enjoy now? I think that's huge. I also think that, especially whenever it comes to manifesting a partner, one of the things that is important not to do is not try to fix yourself into finding them. Like, It's more about knowing that you're worthy of it now. Cause I think a lot of people are like, well, I need to work on this and I need to work on this. And in order to have a partner, and I need to heal this because, oh my gosh, I've manifested so many partnerships that are not right. And my invitation would be, what if you don't have to fix anything? It's more about stepping into knowing that you're worthy for that and you're ready for it. So, what if you have nothing to fix? And I'll say that because just from lived experience, like I grew up seeing like really bad relationships, right? Like in my family, like I remember thinking, I never want to get married. Like this is a mess. Like I was like, I used to say, I don't think I know one person that's happily married. Like that was my experience. And so I used to tell I'm like, I'm never getting married, right? So of course the non-attachment, then I find my husband at 23 years old, but but what's wild is like I didn't heal anything around that. I didn't have a positive like way of being a wife. I didn't have a like I didn't know how to do that. But I still manifested an amazing husband, right? And we learned together and we grew together and he taught me a ton and he kind of taught me how to be in relationship because he was amazing at it. And so I think the biggest opportunity for a lot of people is like not trying to fix yourself. It's just believing that you can have it and you're worthy of it, believing it is done. And then also doing that work that we talked about around non-attachment or letting go of the how it's going to look, who it's going to be, when it's going to happen. It's so important to release that pressure and free yourself. Like, what I would ask yourself is like, how can I come to a place where I'm in acceptance of me now? I'm okay now. How can I fall in love with my life now? Because that is going to help me attract someone who's also going to fall into this in love with life. I'm going to
Mhm.
attract someone who also loves life or who fits into this life. So I would say that's the invitation more so than trying to fix anything about yourself. It's more of like, how can you light your life up? How can you make it more aligned? How can you make it more you? How can you enjoy now and move into, I guess the emotion would be acceptance of where you are. Like, okay, I didn't expect to have a breakup or a divorce. I didn't expect to not be married by now. But how can I find the version of me that's okay with that and who can start falling in love with life? And from that space, then again, it goes to a place where you're like, oh my God, my life is awesome. I don't have to get married. I don't need a partner. Would it be fun? Yeah. Do I still feel that soul calling? Yeah, but my life is awesome. So I think if you put the focus on making your life awesome, that's going to change so much for you.
So good. So delicious. Mic
Yeah.
drop, boo.
Way more
Mic
fun
drop.
too.
So many good nuggets in there. I'm so glad that you talked about like not trying to like fix yourself because one of like the most common things I think I hear is like, oh, I've got a lot of healing to do or I'm not
Yeah,
yet in the place to date and but yet they deeply want a husband. And I'm like, why
totally.
aren't you dating if that's what you
Yeah.
truly desire? And that's almost like just so discouraging in the moment when you're like, I
Yeah.
can't go after the thing. I can't take the steps to go after the
Yeah.
thing that I want because I need to heal myself. And I just newsflash everybody, you will never get to a completely fully
Totally.
healed version of yourself. And I believe that there is some healing that can only be done in partnership.
True.
So I think there's a lot of stuff like obviously we can do self-growth and we love that. We're obsessed with that
Hmm.
because we're here listening to these podcasts.
Yeah.
But I do believe that in partnership, there is required learning and growth that can only happen when you are in like partnership with another human being,
So true.
cohabitating, well, maybe not even
Yeah.
cohabitating, but in
Yeah.
co-regulation with this other human.
Yeah.
So, and
I
I feel like,
totally agree. And maybe in terms of, if you're into manifesting and calling things in, like the detail that you might want to add into, the partnership that you're calling in is like, I want someone who's on the path with me, someone who's going to help me heal, because that is like, someone can support your healing by showing you a new way. That was my husband for sure. He has changed my life for the better in so many ways by just being him. And it's not something that's taking away for him. He's like, I want to give this to you. I love you so much. And like, I give him things. So it's, again, like you said, the healing journey is never over. So manifest someone who's amazing to be on that journey with, where you support each other in that growth.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will never forget one of the conversations that you and I had in the very beginning when we were talking about, do you remember this conversation about niches and husbands?
Yes.
Can I share it? Do you feel okay if
Please. Oh my
Okay.
God, 100%.
Oh my gosh, you guys, this was so mind blowing for me. So I was living in Boston at the time, dating an amazing human being. He was awesome, but I definitely was doing thought work on him all the time. And then Jamie was coaching a different niche,
Yep.
PCOS, I think, right?
PCOS coaching, weight loss
Yes.
coaching. Yep.
Yes, weight
Yep.
loss coaching. And so we were sitting there, we were having conversation. I think we like booked a call just to talk about business or whatever.
Yep.
And I don't know how it came up or like who went first. But all of a sudden we had this realization where I'm doing thought work all the time about my partner. And she's like, yeah, I don't have to do thought work about my husband. And I'm like, what? What? And then she's like, oh, but I love how you like think about I don't have to do thought work about my niche at all. I'm
Yeah.
never doing thought work about my niche. I just know that I'm in breakups and heartbreak
Yep.
and this is my life's calling and I'm not doing a bunch of thought work. And then it just like all of a sudden clicked for both of us, where it
Yeah.
was like you were like, okay, clearly I'm not in the right niche. And I was like, clearly I'm not in the right relationship. And that was my
Yep.
moment of like, I'm complete in this relationship. I'm
Yep.
moving to Florida. You were like, I'm
Yep.
complete with my niche. I'm moving into manifestation.
Yep. We both broke up in that moment, and it was so good. And that's what I love about you, Dorothy. I feel like it's just our conversations that like we hear these little things and we're like, wait, what? And it like opens so much up. So yeah, that was
So
huge
good.
for both of us. So
I
good.
love it. I love it.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Jamie. I appreciate you coming on. I love you dearly. Please tell everybody how they can find you, how they can work with you. Tell them all the things.
Thank you, Dorothy. I love you. So yeah, come find me. I'm on Instagram a lot at Jamie Berman _. You can find me on my website at jamieberman.com. And then I do have a podcast as well, and it's called Money, Manifestation, and Business. And Dorothy's been on it twice, and her episodes are so good. So you got to come listen.
Yay! Amazing. Thank you so much. And we'll tag everything. We'll link it all in the show notes for you guys so it's easy to find. But again, thank you. I love you. My people love you. You are amazing.
I love you. Thank you.
If you're loving the How to Get Over Your Ex podcast and you want to learn how to get over your ex in 3 months or less to build a life better than the one you thought you had with your ex, I would like to personally invite you to my next group course where we take everything you've learned here on the podcast and apply it to your life. Come check it out at www.lifecoachdorothy.com.